of like what is actually happening in AI in China.
What took Google and OpenAI years and hundreds of millions of dollars to build, DeepSeek says took it just 2 months and less than $6 million.
They have the best open source model, and all the American developers are building on that.
I'm Deirdre.
And they're like, yeah, we did it without the chips. Here it is, way more energy efficient. There you go. It's open source. It's free. You can do whatever you want with it. So all you need is a fucking one of these gurus to come along and be like, unfortunately, the truth is people don't realize that all of society will change in time. AI will revolutionize our very DNA. The atoms that create us, they will be changed. And you're like, no, motherfucker, stop with this shit. Stop believing them. Stop fucking treating these people like god kings. They watched Total Recall once and they all think that they are the future of humanity.
I'm I mean, the German people are sort of really an ancient nation, goes back thousands of years. I was even, you sort of read Julius Caesar's account of like first encountering the German tribes in the Gaulic campaigns, and he was like, wow, very impressive. These are very powerful warriors. So like, I think there's like, frankly, too much of a focus on past guilt, and we need to move beyond that. People
all Nazi shit, by the way, the same shit you would see like back in the day. It used to be relegated to corners of the internet like Stormfront, and like, a lot of it would be what the alt-right would push as well, trying to get away with like, oh no, we're not Nazis, we're not Ku Klux Klan, we're not white supremacists, we're not fascists, we're none of that shit. Okay, effectively what we want is just like the idea of ethno-states. Like, you have no problem with Japan, do you? Do you have a problem with Japan? Are you a racist who doesn't like Japanese people? Well, if you didn't know, in Japan they're mostly Japanese. That's what we're asking for here. What's wrong with just wanting this country to be, again, ethnically pure? And while we're at that, we should probably talk about how there were greater societies, civilizations in the past that were capable of civilizing the barbarous, the savages. They would come over and they would be able to tame those inferior civilizations with their superior culture. Perhaps there's more to the, by that point, which is where he's at, by the way. By that point, you're like, oh my God, you're a Nazi. This is Nazi shit. You're getting into the whole eugenics, the Ubermensch, the superior white race, all that shit. Here it is. Here it is, all laid out. Everyone who's helping this pathway along the way, some people obviously have been a little bit like, holy shit, this is getting a little out of hand. Whoa. Didn't know that's actually where you were going. I thought all those lefties were exaggerating. I thought they just call everything they don't like Hitler. I thought maybe they were just getting a little, like, everything I hate is a fascist, oh no, kind of shit. But no, you're really going there. This is it. And he didn't just do this in Germany. He went and did the exact same thing in Italy, where it was the same kind of talking points. He's like, I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that Italy for the Italians, right? And why should you be ashamed of who you are? And there's a big problem with multiculturalism. Like, we don't effectively, did you hear what he said? He's like, we don't want a big soup. We don't want to all be,
oh yeah.
He's talking about race mixing. That's what he's thought when he's saying we don't want to all be in the same soup, a big soup like that. Like, yes, this is 100% a fucking white supremacist ass Nazi trying to push this shit on the modern age. I do know that like a very large amount of his staff, especially for the ones who were working at Twitter, he fired a very huge volume of the staff and actually retained a large amount of his coding and programming and engineering team who happened to specifically be on H-1B visas, which is why he's such an adamant and an advocate for that program, because these are people who have to work for him to do really fucked up shit, one of whom like may be a whistleblower who revealed that their entire coding was specifically to try and engineer people being more aggressive towards voting for Donald Trump. That whole thing, like basically the worst things of social media that were told to you that were being done previously by George Soros and the liberals were actually coming true under Elon Musk, that he effectively bought a social media platform which was bought in part due to him the Saudis. Diddy was an investor, and then completely destroyed the social media platform that was primarily used by politicians and news agencies, and in so doing has effectively turned it into a far-right recruitment tool to get people to either believe that their civilization is crumbling because of either roaming gangs of Muslims or woke communist Democrats or Trudeau commie fucking vaccine agents here in Canada. No matter what the myth is, he's pushing it in every single country right now, and directly speaking at the rallies of neo-Nazi groups like the AFD organization, and is now trying to trivialize the Holocaust and say that he was in fact not a Nazi and he's not doing a Nazi salute.
Musk describing what he did as moving his hand from my heart to the audience. NBC News reached out to the White House for comment but did not hear back. Musk, who has already played a key role in President Trump's administration, has appeared to support and endorse far-right parties across Europe, like Germany's AfD. In 2017, the AfD adopted a 2017 election manifesto, which included a section on why Islam does not belong to Germany. Musk has also spoken out in support of the UK's Reform Party, which helped initiate the Brexit campaign, and said this about Italy's far-right prime minister.
Giorgia Meloni is someone that I admire.
Meanwhile, some MAGA allies, like Steve Bannon, have chided Musk over his criticism this week of an AI tech announcement at the White House in support of visas for high-skilled foreign workers.
And Vaughn is joining us here in Washington. Vaughn, President Trump hasn't spoken directly about Musk addressing that German party, but he still seems to be backing him.
Right, Hallie. Even just last night aboard Air Force One, President Trump reiterated that Musk will have...
Reform isn't even a party, it's a company. Yeah, I saw that they're currently leading in the UK. I mean, there's a lot of things going on at once. Obviously, the failures of the neoliberals and Starmer is what makes a lot of this possible. I mean, that is just going to give the opportunity for the far right to come along and then blame another group, whether they want to say it's immigrants, whether they want to say it's minorities or trans people, or any excuse they'll make is going to be something that they can take advantage because of the failures, again, under neoliberalism to provide for people, and the continuing exacerbation of wealth inequality allows for this all to happen. You're just witnessing it in real time, which is the really shitty part, and the solution seems to be, especially from either Democrats or liberals in Canada, to just, we need hardline center right. We trash that I don't see everybody as expendable. I'm just going to straight up start acting exactly how I want. I'm going to be apartheid Clyde. I'm going to talk about race mixing. I'm going to talk about the superiority of cultures and ethnicities. I'm going to talk about how Jewish conspiracies are actually true, kind of. I'm going to talk about birth rates and immigration rates. I'm going to do everything out in the open. And he got away with it. He got away with it, and Donald Trump got elected. And so a lot of other tech bros are like, okay, well, we want to solidify our power. We want to maintain our monopolies. Have you looked at what Meta is happening to them? Their FTC entire trial is going to be coming up. Why not cozy up to Trump? Why not cozy up to his ideology? Why not cozy up to the far right? Why not start just out and proud, saying it out in the open? Yeah, actually, I think we need more masculine energy. I think all of these people, and we get back to the mythos, the meritocratic mythos of these incredibly powerful men that each one of them made it on their own. Every single one. It's a lie. Here's the truth behind Jeff Bezos.
I'm sorry, is that Jeff Bezos?
It is.
Oh, you know him?
I mean, everybody knows him. He's a self-made billionaire.
What?
He's a self-made...
No, I heard you. It's just, he's not. Yeah.
A lot of people don't know he started Amazon as an online bookstore working out of his garage.
Do you know where he was working when he started the business?
I don't.
It was a hedge fund.
Huh.
And then his parents gave
We all get a little help from our parents.
$100,000.
$100? Okay.
And another $145,000 the next year.
Oh. But he did successfully build an online bookstore.
I mean, he had the money to pay software developers and people to write the code.
Well, he did a really good job growing it into something big.
He did also get $8 million in 1995 from Kleiner Perkins, Caulfield and Bayer.
$8 million?
Yeah, and I don't know if it's fair to say that Amazon did things better or more efficiently. They had a lot of cash on hand, and they bought up their competitors.
Huh?
Yeah, the list of Amazon's mergers and acquisitions is over 100 lines long.
What?
Instead of competing for customers by offering the best products and prices, Amazon absorbed and purchased companies that occupied spaces in the market they wanted.
If you can't beat them, buy them.
Yeah, well, now the company has a profit of $225 billion, $152 million annually, And they're busting up their employees' union. Why would you need a union if you work at Amazon? Well, warehouse workers report not even having enough money to take the bus after doing 9-hour shifts of calisthenics. Yikes. And Amazon workers are injured at double the rate of what is the industry standard. 6.8 serious injuries for every 100 workers in those warehouses. I guess 2-day shipping comes at a cost. Human lives. 6 employees died in a tornado when they were working in the warehouse because of the no cell phones policy. 4 employees died within the span of less than a month this past summer. 1 forklift crash, another cardiac arrest on Prime Day, and another fell off of a ladder and sustained head injuries. Really? Employees documented temperatures in storage containers reaching 145 degrees Fahrenheit. Damn. In the warehouse that did unionize, Amazon has refused to negotiate a contract despite the union being officially recognized. And in warehouses that are still trying to unionize, Amazon has created a culture of fear and hired professional anti-union consultants and has been found guilty of
I love that. Someone in chat is like, she's hot. But great vid, great points. Good. Convert it, all right? Whatever you need to do to get you there, okay? If you're tuning into the channel initially, you're like, oh, who's the hot woman that you're watching? But then after some time, that horny turns into class consciousness, or you're awoken. Fantastic. More people need to learn all this. The lies that billionaires are pushing on everybody while they fucking make our lives miserable, they're not self-made. It's all a lie. 'Tis a ruse. It's an absolute lie. The self-made billionaire mythos is one of the reasons why we justify giving these creeps total and complete power. Did you notice that photo of all of them? It may be the thumbnail if you're watching me on YouTube, but all of them standing in a row. You had Sundar Pichai, you had Elon Musk, you had Jeff Bezos, you had Mark Zuckerberg. They're all just standing there beside fucking, either JD Vance or Donald Trump. These are the richest, most powerful men in the world, and each one of them has been living a fucking lie. They've been selling all of the world on the idea that the future is an arms race. We are in the middle of a Cold War you didn't know was already taking place. The AI wars. And part of the AI wars is that all of us, these super geniuses, the world's smartest and most powerful humans, need to be able to get hundreds of billions of your tax dollars, America, your American tax dollars, in the form of welfare. They want the biggest welfare handouts ever, in the form of these billions and billions of dollars, to keep developing these machines, these data centers filled with hundreds and hundreds of chips that are going to be necessary and require insane amounts of energy. So much energy that they need to build proprietary nuclear plants just to power the data centers, because these can only be powered by NVIDIA chips, thousands and thousands and thousands of them, and pour all your money into this because the future is AI. And if you don't do it, China will do it first. That's the scary lie that you keep getting told by these self-made millionaires.
Workers and union busting on multiple occasions. I never hear about this in the news. All while Jeff Bezos is getting richer. He made $4.22 billion according to leaked IRS documents and only paid a less than 1% tax rate on it. I pay a higher tax rate than him, which means
as a straight man, I have my attractions. Hell yeah, brother. I too enjoy beautiful people, and also class consciousness. Let us enjoy all the things at once.
Jeff Bezos is getting rich off of workers who might be on food stamps or taking public transportation that's been partially paid for by you. I'm gonna change the photo in that frame. Maybe put one of your grandma. Maybe one of my grandma.
The classic gooning to class consciousness pipeline. However you get there, that's all that matters to me.
Homes to remove a fortress-sized chunk of earth beneath their homes in order to access a tunnel system, which looks like it was inspired by Turbo Glow Hot Wheels. But really, how about the fact that the entire business is predicated on an absurdly unrealistic scam out of an idea that could never be implemented on a large scale, and if it somehow miraculously was, literally something as
But he did it. He got the Hyperloops built, but they weren't actually some kind of new revolutionary way to do transportation. He invented underground traffic. He got, again, tens of billions of dollars from the city of Las Vegas to build these things. We're just like, oh, the traffic's really bad. Yeah, do we have anything that we know that would actually solve traffic? We do, actually. There's other countries that have done this. They built high-speed rail, really fast trains. Look at what fucking Hong Kong has done. Look at fucking, a lot of parts of China. Like, you should really see how innovative they become and how amazing it's revolutionized transportation there. But instead, you're going to build these tunnels underground that are incredibly expensive to make, that can only have Teslas go through them until until there's enough Teslas going through them that this traffic once again stalls them from end to end, and they're bumper to bumper in the death holes underground. Like, he literally just stole the idea from an old episode of The Simpsons where Homer's part of the Stonecutters, and then he gets a VIP while he's stuck in traffic ability to go into an extra tunnel that exists outside of the highway, and then it's just amazing because it's filled with all these works of art and the Mona Lisa and stuff, and it's so cool and VIP, and then he's past traffic and doesn't have to worry about traffic anymore. That's it. He saw that episode. I know he watched that episode because he's quoted Simpsons before, and he sold the idea, and then he sold it on a mass scale that cost hundreds of billions of dollars that again advertises his proprietary vehicles, Teslas, rather than build something that can help humanity. He did the exact same thing with his like renewable energy whatchamacallit, the shingles at the top of the houses, that whole thing where it was like he invented solar panels that were going to go on top of solar city solar panels.
Hoax Elon devised because he knew Tesla was going to go down if they weren't bailed out. Musk would later go on to reveal as much in court. And if you want to know more about that, check out this excellent video, highly recommended. But you know, I bring all this up because it's just a good way to ease you into Elon Musk's habit of making hollow and sometimes totally batshit promises that he just can't keep. And I think it's kind of interesting to see Musk lie to a shitload of people during a live broadcast event. Oh, and speaking of that,
I believe in a renewable energy.
He sold the world on the idea of solar panels that were going to revolutionize all homes in America. He got people together. He built some model homes to show them off. He got VC to pour tons and tons of cash into this. And the idea was simple. The very top of your roof of your house is going to have solar panels instead of shingles. So instead of roofing shingles, solar panels will be put there. You can get all the energy you need from the sun. We're going to be way less reliant. I mean, on theory, this all sounds great. Such a good idea. That he stole. He stole the idea, he stole the blueprints, he even stole the very concept itself from someone else who eventually had let the idea go because it turned out these shingles were very prone to blowing up and lighting on fire, and that it wasn't practical or a practical solution to replace roofing panels with solar panels. They're two very, very different things. The idea in theory sounds very good, but you kind of need roofing panels first, and then you can put solar panels on top of them. Then when you need to repair the roofing panels, you need to move the solar panels out of the way, then repair your roof, then put the solar panel back on top. He bought the company, yes.
I don't get it either. Musk was about to unveil a revolutionary new piece of tech that would accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. See, it says it right there. And Elon introduced the solar-powered roof shingle. It was nothing short of beautiful, affordable, integrated technology.
And then if all those things are true, why would you go any other direction?
Yeah, if all those things are true. Well, Tesla shareholders sure figured it was. I mean, they were told by Musk himself these solar shingles powered all of these houses.
Like, the interesting thing is the houses you see around you are all solar houses. I don't know if you know that.
So they put billions into Solar City. Elon saved the day. Of course, the patent for these shingles was developed in 1977 by NASA, which might sound a little weird, because it should. But here's the real thing. None of them actually worked. That's right, not a single shingle on that Hollywood backlot set, which, come to think of it, probably should have been some sort of tip-off, actually worked. They were props. This test was a fake. He lied to everybody. But the good thing is they eventually had them developed in only one of the 4 colors. But according to Elon, hundreds of homes in California, none of which include his 5 Bel Air mansions, did have them, except it was really only 12. But that was only until recently. Now they say, and of course we should totally believe them, that they're making tons, but they're often close to $50,000 more expensive than the original estimates. Well, at least they make regular solar panels, and that's a great product. Oh no, actually, they have a strange habit of setting roofs on fire, like they've done to 7 Walmarts, and well, just go to Consumer Affairs and take a look at these endless streams of 1-star reviews.
Now again, all this shit, you could laugh until the end of days, right? Like this is the same stuff that he's still doing today. Like, people believed in the mythos. Prior to him becoming a full Nazi and doing the Nazi arc, people kept buying into this shit. There was a lot of stuff you could say about him. He's not a good inventor. He doesn't actually come up with shit. He actually just gets tons and tons of funding from VC to pour into this nonsense. But at least there are people who believe in his projects, who can lift him up, and he might take someone else's idea, like Tesla, but then he'll turn it into something golden. Like Tesla. Well, no. The truth of the matter is that he has been lying consistently about all of these miraculous inventions, life-changing ideas and stuff like that. It's of no surprise to me that he has gone down this complete fascist pipeline, Nazi rabbit hole, whatever you want to call it, because at this point now, he's trying to coalesce his power, like a lot of these other tech giants and tech gurus are. All of the mythos of the self-made billionaires, that these are now the most rich and powerful people on the planet, should be shattered immediately, because we need to do some work. We need everyone to realize it's a lie. But don't take my word for it. Let them do it out in the open. Like with AI. I don't know if you all saw over the weekend, but the most wild thing happened. The entire AI tech world was in a fucking, what the fuck is happening? What's going on? Why is everyone melting down? Check this out.
When you mark, now you can take a look right now at the AI related stocks. So NVIDIA, ARM, AMD, Microsoft, Meta, interestingly on that list, given it's open source. We got to talk about the open source, closed source bit of this as well. And then
it's a shocker to see NVIDIA down by more than 12% right now.
Absolutely. And then you have global chip stocks also in the red across the board, ASML Holdings and others. There is the question, I will say, Alexander Wang made the point last week, and it's become sort of the question mark about all of this, which is, he suggested on our air that it is possible that they were using some of the highest performing NVIDIA chips, perhaps as many as 50,000 of them, to build this model. Now,
NVIDIA is down 17% now. Say it ain't so. How could something like this happen? After all, we were told for such a long time that the future, not only the future, but the wars that we were all engaged in, that we didn't even know about it, were AI-based. The future was in AI, and that we had to do everything in our power to be able to be at the forefront of the AI race. In Canada, we were buying and selling the same slop, all right? We had politicians here who were saying Canada is going to be a global leader in the AI race that's coming up right now. We're in the middle of an AI war. We have to be able to beat China, all right? China is going to be basically, at some point, try and catch up with us, and we're currently very ahead, luckily. Luckily, the good, noble people of America are ahead of this, and the reason why America was winning at the whole AI race, well, it happened to be the fact that the chips you see, the NVIDIA chips, the ones that are now in part of a company that's down, 17%, amazing. Those chips are essential to the ability to have AI. Without these chips, you can't have advanced AI. And because they don't want to play fair and they wanted to beat China at their own game, they told China, you're not allowed to have them. No chips for you. Yeah, that's right. Doesn't matter if they're developed in centers in Taiwan. You're not allowed to import them. We're putting an embargo on these specific NVIDIA chips because you could use them to build advanced AI like we already have, and we're the only advanced AI center in the world. So what happens? Well, enter this weekend, the DeepSeek fiasco. This is what's causing all of these crashes right now, by the way. A hedge fund billionaire in China comes along and decides that he's going to get a small team of people together, advanced coders that are coming right out of university who are, young and hungry and eager to impress, and tell them the same kind of things that basically Steve Jobs told Wozniak back in the day. See, Steve Jobs, he was not a genius. He was a brander, and he would tell someone who was a genius, Steve Wozniak, I need you to do something that is considered by today's standards impossible, and I want you to go out and do it. Go and innovate. And so that's what happened here. I want to let you all know, ChatGPT, which is powered by OpenAI, OpenAI has a staff of about 4,500 people and billions and billions and billions of dollars invested into it. This is a team of under 200 people and $6 million. And they invented an AI that is faster than anything that OpenAI has so far, called DeepSeek. Not only that, they released it for free. They were like, here you go. Here's the AI that we developed that does not require endless farms, that does not require thousands and thousands and thousands. We didn't even have access to them, to be honest with you. I mean, they had secured, I think something like 10,000 NVIDIA 100 chips, which in the scheme of things is nothing compared to the actual, chip farms that are being told to us, lied to us, by the way. You should pay attention to the fact that we live in a time right now where the world's richest tech bros are all selling the exact same idea. You are in an AI war. You need to give us all of your money. Give us billions of dollars. We have to develop Oracle. The Oracle system is the future. Donald Trump, thank you. He has pledged $500 billion for Oracle, and now we can use this to develop the new technology that'll win the AI race. We need to develop these data centers that are powered by nuclear reactors. If we're not allowed to use nuclear reactors, we need to crash the Texas power grid. If we're not allowed to crash the Texas power grid, we need to revert to coal. Yes, I know, climate change is real, you're all scared. This is more important. It is more important that we have the slop factories, the incredibly powerful slop factories, and these slop factories are able to go, like, it was a lie. It was a lie, it was a lie, they lied, they openly lied, and much like a lot of the same tech bros who lie all the time, like, you know how you always hear, like, oh, are you making fun of cryptocurrency? Yeah, it's because you don't understand it. If you understood the blockchain, bro, you wouldn't be talking like that. I'm sorry, but you don't get it, all right? This tech's too advanced for you. Trust me. No. I've read the open AIs, all right? I read the white papers. I know all about this shit, okay? Trust me. No, I don't know how to code, but that's not important, all right? I understand blockchain. I know what I'm talking about. You don't. That's all I gotta say. Well, I don't know. Every time I talk to non-evil nerds, I'm talking about good nerds, honest nerds who understand this shit, they tell me the opposite. They say that it's woefully inefficient. It's a very, very wasteful way of sending, money across the internet. We already know how to do that because multiple companies already do that way more efficiently. If it's that you want a leisure of it, there's other ways to do that that don't require a code that needs the decoding power of these massive GPU centers. And similar to that, what if we innovated? What if, like, instead of just going ahead like you want us to and buying into this idea that you need hundreds of billions of dollars to create the monitoring AI systems that are going to police our every behavior, which is what they're proposing, what if someone came along and made more efficient code that used hundreds of times less energy, that didn't require massive power data centers, and then made it open source and put it out there free for the world? Like, I know the copium that I've seen has been like, well, this is the CCP's way of trying to invalidate all of our hard work. Okay, did it? Even if you want to say that this is a conspiracy by the Chinese Communist government to make this thing, which is available free, by the way, it's open source, you can download it, and people are able to run it like in their basements, in the safety of their homes. They don't have to connect it to the internet. You can, as I've been doing all day, because I want to give them all my information, clearly. But, like, you could just run it in your house. You don't need a massive fucking supercomputer neural network of 10,000 fucking super chips combined in order to be able to process this information. They've given it away. I mean, what the hell? Beating the Chinese are these chips, these holy grail chips, these NVIDIA chips. They are only possible made by one company, and that happens to be an American company, NVIDIA. They're the only ones that have enough power, enough computational power to truly generate this AI shit, and we need to be giving them all the power in the world. And so these AI chips that are developed in a center and in processing plants in Taiwan, there might be some geopolitics at play here, by an American company of which they should have all of our funding and security, and we must also use army, yes, military, to protect all of these important things because they are the future, to protect the AI. Well, turns out that was all a lie. All of it. It's all a lie. Like Ed Zitron has been saying for a long time, I don't know if you've watched or listened to his podcast, the whole thing is nonsense. He's like, why in the world are we believing these people? Why are the world's richest, I mean, now they're called the broligarchs because the Democrats like, it's bad when it's the other team, but these broligarchs apparently are the ones who are basically going to destroy all of society. They destabilize civilization with their social media apps. You can see like Elon Musk doing it out in the open, and then the rest of them are like, oh, okay, so I guess all of us are shitty. Yeah, we can all be fashy now. Yeah, I don't care at all about LGBTQ plus rights. I don't care about trans people. I don't care about black people. I don't care about indigenous people. I don't care about shit all right? I want us to just fucking be out in the open because Elon could do it. Why can't we? Can't we all be shitty? Yeah, we're all going to destabilize society. So we're basically going to force all of your parents to really want to go far right and bring back all these far right movements and fascistic movements and talking about keeping Italy for Italians and Germany for Germans. And there he is. Look, Elon Musk is off doing fucking Nazi salutes and Hitler shit. And also, we need all your money. We need it for the AI. Give us all your money. Give us all the money from all your hard-earned tax dollars so we can keep making the AI. And also, only America can be at the front of the AI wars because they're the only ones who make the chips. Yeah, it was all a lie. It turns out there was a team, a very small team, I'll have you, of 200 people who, by a billionaire hedge fund manager in China, decided, what if we made our own AI? Well, the problem is you can't do that, see? Here's the story. Apparently, only the NVIDIA chips are the ones powerful enough to be able to run these super data processing centers. And so we've got a whole thing. America's not letting China have those chips. You might be able to secure a small amount of them, say like 10,000 of the NVIDIA 100s, but otherwise you won't be able to get your hands on hundreds of thousands of them like you need for these massive data centers that apparently are bringing coal power back, and they want to build nuclear power plants to power them. They're going to need all of our energy. Yes, they are crashing electrical grids, but it's all for the AI. We have to believe in this God that is the AI and keep giving them everything. Well, this small team of 200 people for about $6 million, $6 million, by the way, 6 million, not 100 billion, not 200 billion, not $1 trillion, not all the fucking money in the world that these AI gods keep telling us that we need to believe in. 200 people for $6 million made a better AI system than OpenAI. And then they revealed it to the world and then gave it away for free. For free. They're like, here you go. Yeah, open source, do what you want. The fucking copium of the entire, like right now, if you're wondering why in the world is it that all of these fucking NVIDIA stocks and AI stocks and tech stocks are in free fall right now, because yeah, money don't fuck around with the clowns once they realize what's going on. Like over the weekend, I was like, oh my God, they did it. They actually had innovation. This is the thing you keep hearing about. I don't know if you remember this old time when the internet first was the internet and there was different waves. There's Web 1.0, then there was Web 2.0. And 2.0 was exciting because all of a sudden human beings were going to generate content. We were the bloggers. We were the movie makers with the YouTube. We were the radio men with the podcasts. We had it all, right? And so we as humans were going to make this shit, and that's Web 2.0. And then everything just started to suck more and more to the point where we find ourselves now, where it's all like, the new innovation is blockchain, cryptocurrency. You're like, ew, what? No, it's remarkably inefficient. And then there's a permanent ledger of everything we do online. That's not what we want. That's not the future. Okay, well, the new innovation is AI. It's in everything now. You're like, but it's making everything worse. It's so incestuous. It's basically just taking all the information humanity has ever put out there, and then it's collectively pooled it all together, and then it's just spewing it back to us like vomit. We're scromiting. It's a scromiting system. It's not great. It's making people in their search engine results try and eat glue, try and eat rocks. People are going to get hurt if they actually genuinely believe this shit. We can't use it as an authority. There might be some practical applications for AI because we've been actually using it for a long time under different names, but now it's got this mystique, this mythos. AI is here. Yes, sentient applications that can actually blah, 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 blah. You just want a human stealing thing that you can get away with avoiding copyright or paying humans for. That's what this is at the heart of it, isn't it? It's not truly the innovation you're promising. If it was, you'd be honest about its shortfalls, its limitations, and you'd stop demanding endless power and energy. You'd stop being like, the only way to power this system is with the world's most powerful chips, only made by American companies, only developed in plants in Taiwan, and that's the only way forward. We need more energy. More energy. We demand it, all right? Give us hundreds of billions of dollars. Oracle is ready. We will have monitoring systems. We will control your healthcare. We will do all of this. We are the God Kings. AI is real. And then it's like, but 200 really talented coders with $6 million, that like, again, peanuts. We're capable of making a better AI system, and then they gave it away for free. It's open source. But those are Chinese communists, I tell you. Don't use it. You're going to give all your information to the Chinese communists if you do. Well, they made it open source, which means if you don't believe them, you can download it and run it. But you can't run it with the super powerful chips that you need, the NVIDIA supercenters that require the nuclear plant. No, people are running it in their fucking basements. I'm serious. There is video of people downloading the code and running it off their fucking home computer systems. They don't need the massive neural networks with the hundreds of billions of dollars of chips. The whole thing was a lie. It was a fucking scam. You can see it all now. It's all been laid before us. This is the truth. If you don't believe me, look at the copium that is going online in the tech world. They are going through all the phases, right? It's fucking disbelief, then doubt, and grief, fucking compensation. Like they're straight up being like, oh, well, yeah, but the numbers don't compare with the AI Open System 5. You're talking about something, OpenAI. Okay, first off, OpenAI doesn't mean that it's open source. OpenAI means that people can use it, they can develop APIs, and then they can connect those APIs and pay a fee to the OpenAI system in order to have, that's why we have so many apps now. If you've wondered why the App Store is filled with all these apps that are like, put your friends' faces onto any celebrity, remove the background of this image instantly, those are all using OpenAI. They're using the technology that OpenAI has proprietary control over, and then they've got software that goes back and forth, and they pay a small amount of fee every time someone uses it, which is why all those apps require you to pay monthly for them. And so along comes DeepSeek. It is apparently more efficient and faster and uses way less energy than the OpenAI system. Also, it's free. They're just, here you go. Yeah, we figured it out. How did they do that? How? Was it magic? No. We used to do a thing back in the day. We used to innovate. That used to be something human beings did. That used to be something that we were proud of. I don't know if you remember this, but when Google first announced that there was a search engine that was capable of finding results of the entirety of human knowledge in seconds, that was really neat. That for me to grow up in the era before that existed and then after that existed was like, wow, that's crazy. Human innovation sure is a splendid thing. And then they did it again. They were like, hey, you know the entire word suite? Yeah, like all those really expensive programs? Yeah, those things. Yeah, you know, organizational things like calendars, Word document processing centers, all that stuff. Do you want it all for free? Wait, all of it? Yeah, all of it for free. And it can be connected. It can be connected on a cloud, so you can have it 24/7 anywhere you go. Yeah, please. That sounds great. Do you want more things? What else you got? Well, how about this? Because you, being Americans, basically put a whole bunch of money into your military to develop this technology that allows you to track where human beings are on the earth. Well, that technology actually is now readily available for companies to use. So because they can use that, we can track where you are and we can develop apps so you can find anything, anywhere you are using this thing called Google Maps. What? This all sounds like magic. It sounds like you're giving me magical powers. I love this. And all of it is just in the same little rectangle cube that I have in my pocket. This is a beautiful thing. These are innovations. This is collaborative efforts between human beings developing technology, sharing it with one another, and then trying to increase and better the human experience. We went from that to garbage slop world. Like, honestly, if you look how capitalism and corporations have destroyed the beauty and offerings of the internet, it fucking sucks. It went from all of these innovations and all this great stuff that, like, obviously I'm going to give you all of this, and like, what do you want in exchange? Your soul. That's right. That was the deal. Google was like, your soul, everything about you. I want to learn every single aspect about you. Personal things, your religion, what do you believe, what do you wank off to, what do you like, what are your politics, what are your friend groups, what are you into for this, what decision making will you do? I want to know, based on a handful of factors, what you will buy, when you'll buy it, and what makes you buy it more. I want all of your data. All of that. So that's the trade. You get all these neat little tricks for free. The magic cube. Yeah, you get the magic cube. It's all free, no cost, except for your soul. In exchange, we get your soul. And then when they realized that and they had all our data and they basically were monopolizing the industry, so there's no more competition. It's like anytime there'd be a new innovation, Zuckerberg would be like, that's mine. I buy that. And then, you know, okay, fine. There's some other competition in this arena. Fucking Bezos. Mine. I buy that. So 5 companies control the entire internet and they stop innovating. They don't give a fuck. They're done innovating. Capitalism won. They monopolized. They control it all. And so then they started telling us what we want, even though we didn't. The whole world has been rejecting this AI slop bullshit for so long, but they kept pushing it on us until it's just like, hey, did you know Gemini is fucking interconnected in your app thing? And like, what? I use WhatsApp to message my fucking aunt in Spain or in fucking Caracas. I don't need it to have AI. Oh my God, it's doing it automatically. I don't have a choice. I'm just in the middle of a conversation and all of a sudden this fucking pop-up's there. And it's like, I understand that you're currently having a conversation about this. Would you like to learn? No, I don't. I just stay away from me. Ew. And then I kept doing that for everything. It's like, we don't really have a commercial test use application for this, but we're going to keep forcing it down your throats. And you know what? You're not accepting it? Fine. We're going to partner with other corporations. Coca-Cola Coca-Cola, your ad, go make your ad with AI art. And I'm sure the people at Coca-Cola were like, we don't need to do that though. We have billions of dollars. We could make a real commercial. We could actually just film it from scratch. It'll be warm and wholesome. We don't need to make it nightmare fuel. And they're like, no, but do that so we can prove to other people that this is a viable path forward. Justify it. Justify our existence. Justify all of this fucking, the emperor has no clothes shit, but keep justifying it because we need hundreds of billions of dollars to power these massive data centers that are going to fucking burn us all down. Yes, climate change is an existential threat, but we need to return to coal. I'm sorry, but these AI gods demand it. We need more of this. We need to open up nuclear reactors so that Google can power its AI data centers to keep trawling the internet and learn and become more powerful and blah, blah, blah. And all this was a lie. All it took was a small team. Like OpenAI is 4,500 people. It's billions, tens of billions of dollars. And this small team comes along of 200 coders who had to innovate. They had that was the biggest difference. They were like, hey, can you make this do the same thing, but faster and more efficient without the incredible powerhouse of the endless amount of NVIDIA chips at your disposal? You've got a small amount of them. Can you make this code, this software work more efficiently with limited hardware so that we can actually show that you can actually develop these complex AI learning systems without the use of America's stranglehold on the chip market? And they're like, okay. It took them a couple months, a couple $1 million, but they did it. And then, to the surprise and shock of the rest of the world, they released it for free. So even if you hate the Chinese communists, even if you think they just did it to be able to do a communism or whatever the fuck other excuses and copium I'm seeing online, it's free. You can download it and run it out of the comfort of your house and not connect it to the internet at all and have yourself the same system that is apparently going to cost you hundreds of billions of dollars. It was a lie. And now money is caught up. That's why you are seeing the stock market and all these other things suddenly be like, oh, okay, so they fuck that. All right, I'm pulling my money out because it was a scam. The whole thing was a scam. Now, I'm not saying, by the way, I got so many people angry at me online for pointing this out because even me, someone who is not a coder, I'm not a programmer, I don't know how to make a deep, complex AI system or any of this. I don't know how to make an NVIDIA chip. I don't. I'm a cheerleader on the sidelines being like, it's cool that y'all achieved this. I've witnessed just overnight the reckoning that has happened, especially amongst the AI programmers and coders of America, to try and downplay the reality of what just occurred, downplay the reality of the new world paradigm we live in, because overnight, yes, everything changed. Hopefully, because the media isn't fully reporting on the reality of the situation here, but this is, yes, the digital version of Sputnik. This is our era. We're living through this right now. The digital version of a Sputnik suddenly being in space well before the Americans. Well, like it's not as if like, you know, it's one-to-one the exact same thing, but this is the equivalent, because all of a sudden you had all these people who thought something like this was never possible, but it completely was. It was a lie, 100%. And the thing is, Trump is now spending what, $500 billion on this Oracle system. You need to stop this. Stop it all. The more people who are aware of this, the better. The more people who wake up to this, the better. It is all a fucking scam.
OpenAI, Google, or Meta.
There is a new model that has all of the valley buzzing.
But from a Chinese lab called DeepSeek.
Please lay down for us non-tech people. I can give you a very simple TLDR on this. OpenAI is not open source, even though it has the word open in it. The reason it has open in it is the idea behind OpenAI is that if you are a developer of a software, you can actually run it through their AI system. So you, as a developer, have the ability to access what is similar to a very complex neural network supercomputer, which is neat. The fundamental idea behind that is neat, but you got to pay, and you got to pay to play. And so you get to basically buy the ability to use their OpenAI networks. And people have been, doing this for a very long time. It's the reason why there's now so many apps, some of them okay, some of them garbage, on the App Store. Do you want to have a digital girlfriend? Yeah. Do you want to have your picture replaced by a celebrity's photo like that? Do you want to do a face swap? Do you want to do a Photoshop where it takes out the background instantaneously? It's powered by AI. Do you see that all the time? Powered by AI, powered by AI. That's most likely an API that is effectively feeding information into the OpenAI network. That's what it's doing. But OpenAI is still its own proprietary technology, which is why other companies in this AI race we keep hearing about have developed their own, which is why you have Gemini, which is why you have Grok, which is Elon Musk's. They all have their own, and all these tech giants are saying, this is the future. We don't fully know why yet. We haven't explained that part. We haven't explained to you why, what the test case is going to be, but look at the neat shit it does. And it's undeniably neat to have a chat bot, right? Something that can sound like a human, that can go back and forth, that can actually replicate real voice, real video, real shit like that, that can take all of other artists' work and then collaborate them into something that then spews out slop that looks like their work. This is all like the same thing with video, right? It's like, hey, by the way, the future is going to be AI video. And it's like, as someone who worked in professional film, I don't know if that's 100% true. There are elements that you can certainly say will be replaced by AI, and certain aspects will be for sure. Like research on a certain degree, if you have an actual correct information that can give me a specific answer to a specific question that I don't have to look up in forums, that's useful. That's handy. If you are a lawyer and you want to have, say, boilerplate legal documents put and spewed back out where I only have to replace the name and an address, but then you can make me the entire contract, that's handy. Okay, that might have a test use case. When it comes to the background photos that are completely copyright clear, that look like it's from a mountain, but we're not sure where, but you don't have to worry about getting sued, okay, that might be handy or useful. When it comes to you can generate an entire film from an idea or a prompt, no. For the love of God, get past this. We have maxed out. We're at the max threshold at this point, what a lot of this stuff can do, because it's unscalable without us building these insane data centers that don't have data anymore to collect from us. They've absorbed the sum total of human data available, so they're always looking for new shit. So the answer to that is to feed it artificial data. Why don't we give it the data that we invent? Why don't we keep just feeding the beast over and over and over, and it'll become more sophisticated? The problem with that is that it actually becomes more incestuous. It becomes more inaccurate. You're no longer training these systems on things that are human. You're training them on things that are made to look human. That provides it all of these false positives. You get a lot of this weird shit. Still hasn't totally figured out fingers. The other really fucked up thing about the video is that it's not consistent. It takes so much energy to generate 20 seconds of AI video, and I'll grant you, it looks stunning at times. How it can either look photorealistic or it can look like something that is a $5 million shot that may have cost $5 to $10 million in CG. Having worked for CG companies, having worked for special effect companies, no question that some of the 10 to 20 second videos that have been put out there, if you would have asked a special effects company to make that probably would have been $5 million. But you made it for what, a $40 prompt? That's how much it cost you. Here's the trick though. Can it continuously generate, like shot for shot, the same information as you say turn a corner, as you say have a different angle, if you have a different character, if you have something enter? Can you edit any of it? The answer is no, you can't edit it because it's not being generated from scratch. It's not being made in Blender. You're not making wireframes. You're not making characters. You're not designing anything. You're just typing stuff into a prompt and waiting to see if the lottery of the spew has put out a version that looks close to what you want. Okay, fine. 30 seconds looks close enough to what you want. You've seen all of these weird ass people being like, I've always wanted to know what my favorite anime made by a creator who clearly hated the very concept of AI generative art would have been, and would probably kill me right now if he had the chance. If he had the opportunity, he would rise from the grave, grab a samurai sword, and fucking open my stomach to prevent me from doing this. But here it is, friends. I've produced this, and here's my new version of this cartoon, except it's featuring a woman who's got really huge boobas, giant titties, and it looks photorealistic. Isn't this based? And you're like, what about the next shot? What about the shot right after that? Have you ever seen them cohesively put two shots together that don't look like they're from two completely separate things? Some of them that even look kind of similar, you can tell the lighting's changed, the background's changed, the car that was there is not there before, people's fingers go over it. All of a sudden there's like, I saw a really popular one online where it was basically this, and it's an impressive scene. It's this giant monster destroying a city, and like this giant monster in one of his hands, it's like a tree monster where one of his hands is filled with apples, and he's smashing cars. He's like, I go smash now. And then it cuts to a shot of a missile flying at the monster, and then it hits the monster, and then you see the monster go, brrrr, as the missile hits it. It looks like it's straight out of a Marvel film, except Go frame by frame. When it cuts from one shot to another, did you notice that it zooms in on the monster? He no longer has an apple tree hand weapon. He's now completely made of apples, and the apples are all around him because the AI is trying to get as close as it can to what you typed in from the previous prompt. You've typed in a new prompt at that point. You said, now, close-up shot, missile is moving in on the green monster. He still looks like the tree monster from the last shot, blah, blah, blah. Well, it takes however long to render, however long to produce. You paid money for it. You finally, after 16 attempts, every time is what, $5, $10 an attempt, you finally have your prompt that looks enough like it, and then you want to show the world. And then you're like, hey everybody, I've got this badass new video, check it out. And then everyone's looking at it like, I mean, it's impressive that like for a couple seconds it looks like a Marvel film, but none of this is cohesive. And that is essential when it comes to making movies. Cohesion is an essential part of film. Otherwise, it's just a bunch of people yelling. It's just sounds. It's just noise. There's no, like, you have tried to devalue art by removing the ability to have storylines or anything and replaced it with noise and pictures and all of that. And that's why at this point it's all ridiculous. Which is why, again, this story becomes so profoundly neat, because they saw, like, you had to innovate. What this tech team did was they effectively had to make an entire, AI system without the use of the NVIDIA chips, without more than 10,000 of them. Like in a lot of cases, they didn't have access to that. So the coders had to be way more efficient, way less energy intensive, way more efficient at what it does in order to have as a competitive AI that they could effectively just demonstrate to the world as a, well, look what you can do. You don't, the tech bros have been lying to us all.
It's opened a lot of eyes of like what is actually happening in AI in China.
What took Google and OpenAI years and hundreds of millions of dollars to build, DeepSeek says took it just 2 months and less than $6 million.
They have the best open source model, and all the American developers are building on that.
I'm Deirdre Bosa with the Tech Check Take, China's AI breakthrough. It was a technological leap that shocked Silicon Valley. A newly unveiled, free, open source AI model that beat some of the most powerful ones on the market. But it wasn't a new launch from OpenAI or model announcement from
Right, but they don't care. Only if you let them get away with this. By the way, this is going to be a big thing on the media going forward. How is this reported on? How is this talked about? Because they lied. They lied to all of you. Taxpayers, are you mad? Are you mad that hundreds of billions of dollars are going into these companies by these weird sickos who are telling you that this is the future, but at the same time, it's not? It's all a lie? They don't need to destroy the planet to even make it work. They can have this weird, useless toy that they all really want to tell you is the most like fundamental new technology. They can have it without burning down the planet. That's what these coders proved. You don't need to have the electrical grids crash to be able to run this shit. You can now run this shit for free inside of your bedroom with some really low-end tech. They lied to you. All of them lied to you.
This one was built in the East by a Chinese research lab called DeepSeek. And the details behind its development stunned top AI researchers here in the US. First, the cost. The AI lab reportedly spent just $5.6 million to build DeepSeek version 3. Compare that to OpenAI, which is spending $5 billion a year. And Google, which expects capital...
Which, again, is coming from a lot of tax subsidies. A lot of it because the government is like, well, we have been convinced that we are in the middle of a war. This is a new front. This is the war we were told about. Did you see the film Terminator 2? I don't want them to get Skynet first. Well, I mean, the lesson from that really should be no one should become Skynet. I just shut the fuck up. Give me Skynet. Get me Skynet now. Get me all the tech bros, everyone. We have Gemini. We have Grok. We have this. Yes, more billions. Give them all the money they need to be able to develop this incredibly complex infrastructures. We need it. What? NVIDIA is the only company that produces the chips? Give them all the money they need. Get these chips produced. Build as many as we can. Lies. All of it lies. It was all lies. And again, lies that no one was really looking into because, again, you just believe it because no other country can disprove it until they do. Because you didn't have someone coming along saying, actually, if you innovated if you spend a little extra time, and it's not even that complex here. We got 200 people with a couple $1 million were capable of beating all of these giants who have thousands of employees and spend billions and billions of dollars. Well, I don't know. Seems like a skills issue. Really does. Seems like everyone has been buying the nonsense and the bullshit that all of these people won't stop selling you. It's all built upon lies. That's why I wanted to go backwards and be like, by the way, Elon Musk, not a genius. He's been lying his entire life. Not self-made. Jeff Bezos, not a genius. He's been lying his entire life. Hey, how about Mark Zuckerberg? He's one of the self-made ones. Nope. He was super, super horny. Super horny. Also had rich parents. Also was going to Harvard. Also had a whole bunch of backing, blah, blah, blah. None of these people are super geniuses. Again, he just transferred his horniness into a social media app, and then after that was like, well, basically now I can control the world. And that's where he's gone on his trajectory. But all of these weird, evil nerds, they control the world now if we let them. Only if we let them. If you believe the lies, if you keep believing the shit they sell you, but it's not true. And thank fuck that this development team is capable of being like, so we have a better system that we made without all the use of these proprietary chips and requires way less energy and is faster. Yeah, we're better at the thing, or we had to innovate. That's the big thing here, is that they were forced to innovate and did the thing that, American tech companies used to do back in the day, back in the Google days.
Expenditures in 2024 to soar to over $50 billion. And then there's
who control all of our social media interactions and all that kind of stuff are now at the highest levels of power. They're all going far right and they're all kissing Donald Trump's ring. While at the same time, they've all sold you all on a lie that the future is AI. You have to put billions of dollars into it. We need these massive data centers. It's a war. The war is here. It was a lie. It was all a lie. They lied to you, and that's okay. What's important now is that we learn from this. And the them lying is not the okay part. We're okay. We're going to be fine as long as they realize, hey, the same principle applies. There's a couple thousand billionaires, something like 2,200. There's billions of us, all right? So we need to stop buying their lies. We need to hold them accountable. And honestly, if this turns into like an equivalent of the .com crash or the stock market crash or the housing bubble, any of those kind of things, rather than bail them out and help them through this, we need to let them burn and they all go to prison for the rest of their lives and rot in jail. That should be what we learn and take forward from this, because they can't hurt people anymore if they're all effectively in prison in away from society where they'll damage and hurt all of us. Okay, that's the best way. Edzitron says, the AI bubble was inflated based on the idea that we need bigger models that are both trained to run on bigger and even larger GPUs. A company came along that has undermined the narrative, ways both substantive and questionable, and now the market panicked that $200 billion got wasted on an AI capex. One important note, this is not about DeepSeek making a better model. They've created a much, much cheaper to run model that performs about as well as OpenAI's O1 model. OpenAI may have to drop pricing to compete on a more expensive to run model. Race to the bottom, baby. Also, because DeepSeek's R1 model is open source, it is also open with how its chain of thought reasoning works, something that OpenAI has been avoiding so people can't copy their process and thus their model. Sadly, that didn't need to happen. Remember, they reopened coal plants to fuel this, quote, revolution, and now there's a dramatically cheaper thing that does mostly the same stuff without the need for the biggest data centers and newest chips. OpenAI has no real moat, neither does Anthropic or Google or anyone really. Ever since Hyperscaler now has an LLM that's less efficient and more expensive and horribly unprofitable versus DeepSeek's open source model, which can now be adopted and turned into a competitor to GPT-4 or O1, except it's cheaper, and you know more about how it works, maybe it's fine, but how? I'm just continuously impressed by how prescient and well conveyed your article was in September about what's going on. And yes, it's going to continue. It's going to continue. While we are hearing these kind of things, listen to the way they're talking about AI. Listen to this.
I still expect, although I don't know what, and this is over a long period of time. This is not a like next year or, the year after that kind of thing. But over a long period of time, I still expect that there will be some change required to the social contract, given how powerful we expect this technology to be. I'm not a believer that there won't be any jobs. I think we always find new things to do, but I do think like the whole structure of society itself will, be up for some degree of debate and reconfiguration.
The man seen before you, Sam Altman, who's the CEO of OpenAI, also accused by his sister of raping her when she was only 3 years old, is here trying to tell you that the entire fabric of the social contract of society apparently is going to be upended by the raw power of generative AI. And that, like, unfortunately, this stuff is just becoming so powerful so quickly. This is all fucking nonsense. They keep doing this shit because people keep buying it, and politicians are so fucking, bribed. It's this endless Ouroboros of stupidity, where on one end they keep telling us this is the future. You have to give us all the money in the world. We need at least $500 billion, and we also need a whole bunch of fucking tax breaks. Give us all of the welfare. Fucking pour it into us. Well, at the same time, we don't really have a business model that can generate income because we don't generate shit. We steal it. This is all theft. But at the same time, we're going to keep telling you that the future of society depends on this. You know what's really scary? The idea of those evil Chinese people. What if they got it? What if the communists got it? What if they got this technology before us? It is imperative you give us all the power and the money to be able to do this. Some fucking hedge fund manager just paid a team of 200 people $6 million to make this shit in a month. And then they're like, yeah, we did it without the chips. Here it is. Way more energy efficient. There you go. It's open source. It's free. You can do whatever you want with it. So all you need is a fucking one of these gurus to come along and be like, unfortunately, the truth is, people don't realize that all of society will change in time. AI will revolutionize our very DNA. The atoms that create us, they will be changed. And you're like, no, motherfucker. Stop with this shit. Stop believing them. Stop fucking treating these people like god kings. They watched Total Recall once, and they all think that they are the future of humanity. They're not. They're evil nerds. They should be fucking relegated to the lockers of society, okay? We need good nerds, wholesome nerds. We need nerds who actually care about humanity to be the nerds that lead us. We need to listen to the scientists like Stephen Jay Gould or Carl Sagan who come forward and actually believe in the decency of the human fucking spirit, rather than all of these fuckboys who come forward and consistently tell you, hey, by the way, the future of humanity has given me billions of dollars so I can spy on you 24/7 for reasons. It's necessary. I need to see what you're doing on the toilet 24/7 to know whether or not it's good for society. What the fuck? Fuck. Why did we do this? Why? So many of the problems of tomorrow could be removed of this person accused by his sister of raping her when she was 3 was not in charge of anything, if he didn't have power, you know? Like, Jesus Christ, it's so gross. And still the mythos is there. People still are just like, yep, tell me more. Tell me more about how the future could be run by these fucking weirdos. I don't know if I still have the other one. No, not it. Is it? Oh yeah. Listen to the Oracle AI guy who's just been promised $500 billion from Trump.
On their best behavior, because we're constantly watching and recording everything that's going on. Citizens will be on their best behavior because we're constantly recording and reporting everything that's going on, and it's unimpeachable. The cars have cameras on them. I think we have a squad car here someplace. But those kind of applications using AI, if we can use AI, and we're using AI to monitor the video. So if that altercation that occurred in Memphis, the chief of police would be immediately notified. It's not people that are looking at those cameras, it's AI that's looking at the cameras. No, you can't do this. It would be like a shooting. That's going to be immediately, that's going to be an event that's immediately, an alarm's going to go off, it's going to be, and we're going to have supervision. In other words, every police officer is going to be supervised at all times. And the supervision will, and if there's a problem, AI will report the problem and report it to the appropriate person, whether it's the sheriff or the chief or whomever we need to take control of the situation. We have, same thing. We have drones. We just, if there's something going on in a shopping center, and I'll stop. A drone goes out there, get there way faster than a police car. There's no reason for, by the way, high-speed chases.
This is the person and his company, Oracle, who was just promised $500 billion from Donald Trump and his administration to push forward fucking Black Mirror-esque nightmare fuel upon everybody. I mean, the good news is that it's incredibly expensive for very shitty results, but that shouldn't be like what we as a society just waste all of our money on. These people belong in an institution. They need therapy. They need professional help. They should be nowhere near the levers of power. They should not be allowed to speak to the president and be like, hey, by the way, I've got a great thing that you should spend $500 billion on. It's my new AI idea. I want to monitor everything. What are you talking about? Like the security cameras, like how Britain has? No, everything. All human activity, 24/7. I want to know what all humans are doing all the time. And then I want to send out little drones that can effectively spy on the very people that I want to know what they're doing at all times. I want to be able to know what you do in the bathroom all the time. It's the only way that the social fabric will be able to maintain decency. Like, Jesus Christ. Again, these people need therapy. They need to be fucking institutionalized and far away from the rest of us and stop trying to push this shit. Again, it's the nightmare stuff that they saw on a sci-fi episode when they were kids, but now they have unchecked, untold power. And no one is questioning them because everyone just assumes, well, my internet is kind of neat. It works, right? Sorta. It's getting worse, sure, I'll grant you. But I still get all these cool apps, and I get to look at photos of my friends, and I get to talk to my friends, and I get to go to my job, and I get to see the news, and I get to look at the YouTubes. Everything seems to kind of be working. Yeah, I'm not really going to question who the fuck is behind all this. The very people who are trying to destroy society right now. The most evil and strange of billionaires. The most perverted. The most grotesque fucks on the planet have banded together and are doing this shit. Thank fuck that they actually were capable of being exposed by this entire ordeal.
Thank you so much for watching, everyone. This independent series is made entirely possible thanks to our patrons. It was produced by Anna Loves Riley, Arian McCarthy, Bobby Lasers, Cheryl Alvarez, Comrade Junkie, Doug Caddy, Everything Important, Hagbard Celine, Jimmy Sombrero, Multimondi, Omni, Political Papi, Preston Kroll, Quiet 185, Richard Bohem, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Cernicus, Stellar Gwyn, Sebastian Demmel, and Words Greenwood. Not to mention all the other patrons you now see on screen. We couldn't have done this show without you. If you can help support the show, please check out patreon.com/the Serfs to unlock bonus secret episodes as well as get the content before anyone else.